The outside view of Graham and Kathy's 18th century cottage, the walls are nearly 3 foot thick. Our bedroom window was the top one on the right.
Looking back at the cottage, it is low tide and the cottage is the first one on the left, just above and to the left of the blue boat.
Early morning view from Graham and Kathy's cottage in Ballywalter, right on the seafront. The tide was out. It was so beautiful.
The harbour at Ballywalter, home to about a dozen commercial fishing vessels, plus the pleasure craft of people who live in the village. Gail, Kathy and Graham on one of our many walks along the beaches around Ballywalter. Good for the health, as well as out in a lovely atmosphere.
Scrabo Tower, inhabited by 3 sisters until 1996, descendants from way back. We climbed the circular staircase right to the very top and looked out.
My darling Gail, on the sea wall at Donaghadee, the looming clouds suggest more rain, and we did have quite a bit of that while we were in Ireland, but it does make it the Emerald Isle. 2 long-term ruffians dressed up as fishermen. Can't say they were very good, because in all their trips they came back with nothing. We had to rely on the commercial fishermen, who were mates of Graham's, to give us the lobsters we had for supper. 2 of Ballywalter's dozen or so commercial fishermen. These 2 are lobster and crab fishers, but there's not enough money in fishing alone any longer, and most of them have jobs on land. They go out with their pots, drop them overboard, and after 2 or 3 days go and collect them, and hope that they've got a decent catch.
Mount Stuart, still inhabited by the oldest surviving member, Lady Mary Stuart.
Brought into being in the 1700s by the marriage of a rich but untitled lady to an unrich but titled gentleman.
Gateway to the gardens of the House of Stuart. The gardeners are kept in full-time employment, and you can see the efforts of their work. There were about half a dozen themed gardens in and around the area of the house. This one was the Eros Garden, the Garden of Love.
A topiary harp. This is the emblem of both the Irish Guards and the Royal Ulster Constabulary, the police force of Northern Ireland. Within the grounds of Mount Stuart, there is a small chapel and cemetery. In the cemetery there are 6 of these burial urns. You're buried in there seated. Your feet go down into the base, and you're on a seat roughly at the bottom ring. When you go in there, you are dead, of course.
A Japanese pagoda at the lakeside, another of the themes in the garden.
Fame at last. This is me standing beside the sign to Randalstown, Northern Ireland. I don't think it was named for me though, somehow. A mid-19th century railway bridge, still very much in use, over a peaceful trout stream in Northern Ireland. The abandoned ruins of Dunluce Castle, most famous for its 17th century squire, who complained about the tardy service from the kitchen one evening. A footman sent to investigate reported back that the cliff supporting the kitchen wing had collapsed, taking the whole structure down into the sea many feet below. Gail taking it easy on the Giant's Causeway, an incredible geological formation, mainly of 6-sided extrusions of lava. It extends under the sea to Scotland, and legend has it that the giants of the time used it to travel between the 2 countries, hence its name, the Giant's Causeway.
Stepping stones in the Giant's front garden. Organ pipes manufactured by Mother Nature. For how many centuries have the waves crashed onto these stones?
Gale on the main formation of the causeway, which is about 300 yards wide at this point. It disappears under the sea and resurfaces some 12 miles away in Scotland.
Sunrise over the harbour wall at Ballywalter. I was up early enough to see it, and it was well worth it.
If you wake up early enough in Ballywalter, you can see the effect of the early morning sea mist. These are the street lights appearing through the gloaming.
Although some fields are lying fallow, we saw many shades of green, and I can understand why it's called the Emerald Isle.
We say goodbye to Ireland. I'm in the cockpit of the de Havilland -8 taking us back to London. London City Airport. This has one of the steepest approaches to any airport in the world, and just look how short that runway looks. I enjoyed my time as a pilot, and really would love to get back in the air. We were taught to come in at a 3-degree angle. Coming into London City, you come down at 6 degrees. It is just so totally foreign, but what an exciting experience. Having dropped us off at London City Airport, our sleek de Havilland Dash 8 heads off on another part of its daily routine.